Hello, and welcome to Belly of the Cat God. Tonight, I am joined by an incredible cast, and I'm very excited to welcome you all to this pitch black, grimdark adventure. We will be playing BORG, a pitch black apocalypse fantasy RPG about lost souls and fools seeking redemption, forgiveness, and the last remaining riches in a bleak and dying world. I'm very excited to welcome you all to TTRPG. This is a channel dedicated to the representation of marginalized folks in the TTRPG community. All of our GMs and our cast for tonight will be using safety tools. We've used Lines and Veils and the X and O system, and we've reviewed these beforehand before beginning play. Content warnings for Belly of the Cat God, and it is an extensive list, so bear with me, are likely to include things along the lines of extreme temperatures, dismemberment, gore, violence, cannibalism or consumption of flesh, occult and religious themes, existentialism, apocalyptic themes, a strong possibility of character death, apocalyptic overtones, and cat monsters slash possible harm to animals, but in a thematic and ritualistic way. No one is going to be kicking a fluffy cat. Okay. That being said, I am Alex, your game master for the evening. You can find me at alder_mancy on Twitter, and I use he, they pronouns. And I'm going to be introducing you to the incredible cast that we have here with us tonight. Let's begin with Nikki.
Hello there, I'm Nikki, he, they, and you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram as NickSnat1, number one, where I don't really post anything on those stuff. So yeah, just vibing. But yes, happy to be here. I've never played MÖRK before, so this will be an interesting experience.
Thank you so much for joining us. Pooja, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I am Pooja. You can find me on Twitter at Pooja, Pujabrawaki, everywhere else, including the Twitch chat tonight. And I am playing Kratar, who uses they, he pronouns, which I completely forgot, but now I remember.
Fantastic.
We could just go with any pronouns. Just call Kratar whatever you want. It's fine.
Cool. And Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My name is Matt, Captain Crail on all things. I use they, he pronouns, emphasis on the they. We love that. I am the GM and primary editor of The Animus, which is a little sci-fi adventure, as well as many other things coming in February. It's a very busy month for me. But yeah, I'm going to attempt to play the most ratty person I've ever played. I'm pathetic little man. I'm very excited for it. But yeah.
Fantastic. And of course, Amanda.
Hi everyone, I am Amanda. I am the technical producer here at TTRPG, the person who is teching for the stream right now. And let's see, you can follow me over on Twitter at Panda Cabra. Use she, her pronouns. Tonight I will be playing Graft, who uses they, them pronouns, but only because I'm not 100% sure what someone who is basically like the embodiment of a mushroom's pronouns would be. They are going to be a very gross, disgusting character, and I cannot wait to play them.
I am so thrilled to meet all of your characters, which we will do in a moment here. We begin from far off, a cracked, brutal, and dying world. And this massive landscape, there is one place worse than all of the rest. The dark and smoking wastes of Kyrgyz. Expanses of ice, outcroppings of black basalt clawing their ways out of the white hills. Tunnels and gorges full of loosely packed snow masquerading as solid ground. Warmth is the last dredge of a memory, forming on your lips in a forlorn prayer said through chattering teeth. Each of you has been exiled to these frost lands for a reason. No one would come here of their own free will. Well, beside the relic hunters and the oil farmers, those that seek the strange artifacts of the dark ruins here and the thick black liquid that seeps and bubbles up through the ice. You all find yourselves on a caravan, a group of 10 or so that have been traveling together through the Frostlands. Traveling together is one of the only ways to survive, if only to huddle for warmth at night. And of course, in these lands, anything warm and hot that you can swallow is good meat. Each of you, bundled as you are against the weather, pushing your way through the snow towards the mountain peaks ahead of you, you've made it this far. Let's begin with Volo. Volo, what do you look like? And why are you here?
An older chattering figure with like grease ridden hair that strands of it like thick like ichor drip down their face, wearing this rat like threadbare hole covered robe, this feast for moths. There's so many holes in it. They sit in a corner holding a crown made of these like thick like dagger thorns. And this journey, whenever there's any look toward them or interjecting randomly in conversation, there was this, as the introduction said, there was no one comes here of their own free will. It might have been passingly said in the cart, and the response was, well, there is no free will, really. The world is cruel and we are here to be food for the bugs. But I digress. You don't have the mind that I do. But I'll leave you to your idle chatter. They never forget an opportunity to mention that they were kicked out of, exiled by, because they disgraced another philosopher in the marketplace of ideas that was the church, and they have these like very crude drawings of tattoos that you see whenever they gesture wildly with their hands going up their arms, the tattoos of blasphemous symbols of the church. They seem very proud of the accomplishment, even though everything that they say is always a disparaging word against life and any form of philosophical talk seems so nihilistic to be pointless.
Thank you. Panning over from you to Kratar. What do you look like and why are you here?
Kratar is sitting, unfortunately, close to Volo, whether companions by choice or by fate, it's unclear. If Volo is greasy, Kratar is crumbly. There's this dryness to their presence that you look at them and you're like, this person has not drank water in a long time, and how there's a rasp to their throat that sends a shiver down your spine, and they seem to delight in that. When you look at them from afar, they're wearing what maybe at one point were very nice priests' robes, but since then they've taken on this dusty grime that just falls off as they move, and depending on the light, there looks like there might be some mold on it. It's really hard to tell. And the bottoms of the robes have been it just gets progressively worse as it goes down. Like they've been trudging through substances and haven't had the inclination or chance to wash off. So it's like it's kind of like a mullet robe in a way. It's not that bad up here, but I guess we're all bad down there. And their Kratar is here because, well, they've been branded a heretic of the church. And the Church of the Two-Headed Basilisk had enough of Kratar and all of the things that they did. And, well, they took to the roads to take their beliefs out there, to rave in the wilds and find an ear that was willing to listen. And at some point, that ear was Volo, and, well, here we are.
Delightful. You two, walking as ill-suited companions, are joined by two others from this band. Amanda, would you describe your character and why they are here?
If the other companions so far are greasy and crumbly, Graft can only be described as moist. There's just some kind of weird petrichor-like mossiness to their appearance. They are very frail and pale-skinned and almost looks kind of like a willow in the way that they move. Just long, stringy hair. There actually might be some moss growing in there. Just very, very sort of almost like kind of like if a dead tree was brought to life. Fingernails long, caked with dirt, teeth, just all kinds of just almost like bark, and also coated with dirt, and just wearing rags. And you see at the end of their left arm is just a hook with some mushrooms growing out of it. Graft is missing a hand, but has replaced it with a hook that they constantly use to sort of scratch at themselves and at their skin. And they just always are kind of a little bit hunched over. And as for while they're here, I am Lord of the Mushroom. I am looking for immortality to be back. To be back with the mushrooms would be so great. and what better way to test my concoctions than to go to a place where nothing can survive?
Delightful. And finally, Nikki, would you introduce your character and why they are here?
And walking next to Graft, you see this hooded figure in this light brownish hood pulled up over his head that sort of like swells in a manner that doesn't really look like a normal humanoid head should be. And this coat is raggedy and moth-eaten along the edges, stained with all sorts of different fluids and things best left unremembered. And beneath it, you see what seems to be almost like at some point would be a very well-kept doctor suit, like a lab coat, and underneath there's like this nice dress shirt with a tie, but everything has been dragged and stained and hole ridden, and in patches of it when you can see the hole see the hole behind the hole, see the flesh behind the hole. Instead of skin, you see this extremely pale white smoothed texture that seems almost stringy and artificial. And along the right hand, where the sleeves are eaten right up to the elbow, you can see along the forearms are various growths that bubbles up almost like boils and rashes, and occasionally you can see hints of spores come out from like hundreds of tiny little holes that sort of like opens and close, as if it's breathing in and out, and every exhale tiny spores come out that glitters in like blue and silver. And beneath the hood you see an extremely pale and gaunt creature of some kind, lips all shriveled up, molars desiccated, and every breath is almost crackly and rather like and their eyes are sunken pits that to the point that you don't really see any eyeballs within it, so you wonder how they are able to take in their surroundings. But beneath the hood you can see this the strange shape is actually this almost mushroom cap that stretches out, that seems fused with their head through like stringy tendons that pulses of its own accord and throbs, and occasionally parts of it become slimy as its soft little hissing like sound comes out, but instantly it dries and desiccates across its extremely dry husk of a body. And across its back slunk a sort of like a backpack, but hanging from along the side various vials of different colors that bubbles, and occasionally you can see like steam comes out from some of the tops even though there's a cork pressed through it. And on its side, led by its left hand, which ends in almost a twig-like claw, is a leash that leads to a rabbit-looking pug that seems put like a merge of like mushrooms and moss and algae cobbled together with legs like branches and twigs, leaves sticking out here and there. And its eyes are like just this, something like the light of fireflies, just as if its eyes are like glass orbs, and inside that orb are swirling fireflies, and the spotlight are the eyes of this pug-like abomination, and it occasionally yaps and and it just follows alongside my character, who is named Turg because I forgot to introduce myself earlier when we started.
And why is Turg here?
Yeah. And Turg, once a renowned doctor in their town of aliens, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Alliance, let's make it a bit fantasy. But then word got out to the common folk that Turg had actually been experimenting on their patients, lacing them with their various decoction to create various effects that are meant to make the body hardy to their surroundings, to save them from the poison, to rescue them, to make starvation and dehydration obsolete. But those people, they are too small-minded to see the beauty in my work, and so they kicked me out, and I was left in exile. And now I wander this frozen waste, intending to perfect my art, seeking lost souls that would give their body for the higher cause of saving this world from the apocalyptic curse that ravages it. And so I'm here.
What a grotesque gang. Well, scum upon the earth, as you crawl, shivering through the wastes, the telltale signs of night begin to fall. Growing dark, you can see the meager light of the white sun setting between two mountain peaks as you approach them. As you must each night here in Kyrgyz, it's time to seek shelter or freeze. I am going to begin with our first roll. I would love if everyone could test presence for me. And this is going to be a presence test of 10. So roll a d20, add your presence, and tell me if you beat a 10 or not.
Oh, I accidentally rolled twice.
I got a 6.
A 6?
17.
An
Excellent.
8.
An 11.
All right.
Kill me. Do
So
it.
we
Kill
have-
me.
This is how BORG works. When you fail a roll, you die, and then you make a new character. Turg and Kratar, as you see the light of the sun slipping away, it glints off of something between the two mountain peaks in a strange way, not the way that the light glints off the ice, hurting your eyes, but rather an almost iridescent sheen. There's some dark silhouette right where the two peaks meet. You've been traveling slowly upward, hoping maybe to find some ground that's hard packed, or maybe some village that you've heard of here in these mountains. Doesn't look like you'll reach any kind of civilization soon, but there might be something there.
What is that in the distance? Dingus, explore! I unhook Dingus's leash and send him
You're
forth.
sending your pug out?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
well. Looks
Dingus
promising.
trots forward. You immediately lose sight of him as he plunges through drifts of snow and then emerges squealing and slobbering hideously. You can see small drops of drool just turning into little frozen particles that spray to the side as he travels. And as your crew slowly approach, you can travel almost at the same pace as this tiny pug through the drifts of snow, considering the adaptations that you've made to your caravan, these long legs of wood that you've brought with you, meant to traverse this strange landscape. He reaches it first. What seems to be a strangely clear path of hard packed black dirt up the side of the mountain towards this towering figure. Looks like another spur of black stone at first, but then you see it resolve into 2 points.
Is it moving?
Not that you can tell, although the light plays off of it as the sun sets.
The gods mean to kill us even in this weather, but it seems that even they are forgetful at times.
If we had the luck to be killed by the gods, we'd be dead by now.
No, Kitty.
Let's go.
You pull your caravan onto this road. For many of you, especially the rest of your caravan, this is one of the first times in nearly weeks you felt dirt beneath your feet. The path trails and switchbacks back and forth up to a massive statue of some kind sat here in the mountains. You see lolling forth a tongue curled of black stone, jaws, stalactites and stalagmites of gray and white icicles, up and down, forming jaws, deep-set eyes of vermilion, and 2 pointed black ears. A gigantic cat with its mouth open and paws set on either side of the path you are following.
It seems we've reached our destination. I look
Our
around.
destination has reached us.
I have no time for your philosophy.
That's him, not me. But
Volo, were you doing something?
besides being
No.
greasy.
It's just being greasy, just like excited at the fact that other people are philosophizing. Kratar, they have traveled for so long that they've started philosophizing themselves.
Your grease increases as you swim excitedly.
I will be a
Oh.
slug by the end of
You-
this.
I was saying that I was
Yes.
thinking that I didn't say this, but I was thinking that Kratar definitely picked up dust or dirt as soon as it was
Mhm.
dry, and I don't know, it's just we're going with it. Just like goes and
It is cold, but not as cold as you would expect.
You see
Almost like
Grafts
there's. Yes.
has this giant pack that's been on the caravan, but no one has figured out who it belongs to. But you see them kind of take it, and when they put it up, they almost like hunch down super low. So they're just kind of hunched over with this giant backpack that's full of vials and herbs, and you just see Graf just kind of start scooping dirt into the pack. And then
Listen, when it comes to things you've eaten for sustenance here in the wastes, dirt is by far not the grossest.
Yep.
In fact, I think it's likely that our two herb masters here have managed to keep the caravan sustained through some difficult days and nights with whatever they can pull out of their packs or transform from the ground around you. This cat head, the vermilion lights of its eyes, is made of stone. It seems to be a massive grand statue of some kind. The mouth a cave that descends into the mountains. What you can make out looking up towards it, there's some kind of light that's flickering off of the inside stone of the roof of the mouth.
I think it's saying hello.
Or warning.
Then we should greet it. We should see if there's anyone inside. Go say hello ourselves. Flashes their this rusted short sword they have.
Mm-hmm.
By all means. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Yeah, I was gonna go, by all means, and I gesture for Volo to go up first.
Yes,
Volo
yes.
does not go up first.
No,
Maybe.
it's okay. Kratar is going to go in.
Okay. As the four of you sort of looking, the rest of your caravan lurks behind, you hear a muffled, "Why don't you four go on and check it out and we'll join you after you make sure it's safe."
Just say you're a coward with your chest.
I'd rather say I'm a coward and have the breath left in my lungs to say it.
Why? Why bother? Tara just walks in.
All right, Kratar, you step forward. This stone tongue that comes forward and rests. It seems to be coated in this thin layer of ice, like most things you've seen. Would you give me an agility roll of 8?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I will. Ooh, 18.
All right, 18. You step forward and deftly navigate your way up the tongue. It's sort of curved, but mostly flat, and you're stepping between a smooth surface, almost like it was carved from one continuous rock. This dark basalt, but different than the stones and rocks you've seen scattered here throughout the wastes, almost volcanic in nature, slightly pockmarked.
And let me know if anybody needs me to back off from this, but I think Kratar's feet are so dry that there's no slip.
Yeah, you
It just grips under the rock, smooth surface of the basalt.
Yep, you've got those dry grippers.
I might have a potion for that.
Why bother?
Is anyone following your companion?
Yes. Volo will turn to the others. If they go off on their own and there are riches, they will take them for themselves. It is the human way. I will follow them.
Be
And
my
then-
guess.
All right.
Attempts to pathetically crawl up this tongue.
Will you also give me an agility roll of 8?
I would.
And I will
Love to
follow
do.
behind Volo.
Same thing.
And I follow behind, bringing up the rear.
I got an 8. So
An
I
8
got
is
it.
enough.
Perfect.
16.
All right.
Nice.
15.
Fantastic. Then, fairly deftly, following close in suit together, the four of you make your way into the mouth of this creature. As you step inside, it is wonderful. Barely different from outside, but you can feel it. It is slightly warmer in the mouth of this cavern. A blessing. It looks like maybe 25, 30 feet around, roughly hewn and carved. The roof here is peppered with these stalagmites and stalactites from up and down, icicles, but some of them are dripping into pools and puddles on the floor. And you see towards the back of this cavern a slope descending downward where this light is reflecting up off of. But in addition, here, there are crates and barrels that have been pushed back against the sides of the cavern. Most of them are covered in a thin layer of frost, but I would say probably around 6 or so barrels, 4 crates.
Volo is gonna go and try to like pry one open. Their
Yeah.
pathetic little.
Kratara wants to know if there's food in them.
Okay,
So-
are you going for a crate or a barrel?
I'll go for a crate.
Okay, will you give me a strength of 10?
Okay. Yeah, I got a 12. Hey.
Okay. And you said you're using your sword, your little rusty
Yeah,
sword?
the short sword, kind of like jabbing it in.
All right, you stick that in, and then crack, and you hear the wood just sort of shatter into frozen bits and pieces as the top of this crate slides off. Inside are a number of these packets of some kind. Look like they're made of wrapped leather that have been tied in leather string, each of them probably about the size of a hand, maybe almost like a wallet in shape, but thick and bulging.
Is we'll like undo it, try to find what's in the center of it.
Mm-hmm. Unwrap and open this leather. There are a number of seeds in here. One of them looks almost like star anise, and then another one, sort of a dried grass almost, a thick and pungent scent, but immediately appealing both to, I would say, Turg and Graft. Spices of some kind.
You see all of the holes along Thurg's hands and along the side of their neck just starts some like very trypophobia in the way it does. What do you have there?
Spices without any food. Oh, gods mock us again, and then kind of like just pours it on the ground.
Mhm.
There's little things they have in their
No!
hand.
And Graft just goes on the ground and just starts grabbing at the seeds.
As soon as Graf jumps on the ground, Volo meets them, and he's like, "This is mine. I found it first."
No! No!
In the meantime, I think Kratara wants to open a barrel, looking
Okay.
for. Hopefully, there's food in there.
Kratar, will you give me a strength check of 12?
Natty
Will
20.
grab one of the non-open pack from the barrel.
Okay.
Volo's again swiping and trying to interrupt, but the other scene can go on as this.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, with a natural 20, will you actually, what are you using to open this?
Their short sword. They have one too.
Okay. Will you roll the damage of your short sword for me?
Ew, I will. I sure will. It's a D4. I also realized I read my character sheet. I have a small wagon.
Oh.
So you do.
Nice.
I do too, but I've retconned that to be a giant backpack.
It's 2.
Okay, 2.
What if it's a wheelie backpack?
Do you have a wheelie backpack? I want to know.
Mine is just
You know what?
Okay.
I think Kratara has a bag they just drag.
Just a big.
Nice.
And
Go, go, go,
airport
go.
luggage.
It's just drag. There's no wheels. There's no slip. It's just.
All right. You stick your sword sort of in the top of this barrel and try to crack it open. Manage to find a seam where you can stick it in quite well, and it kind of sinks in a way that suggests there is something thick inside this barrel, which immediately releases a scent of some kind. It's hard to place right now, but it's almost sweet. You see the top of the barrel just kind of slide off, and then I'm gonna need you to make an agility roll. Let's see.
Oh.
No, not agility. Will you make a defense roll for me?
A defense roll.
Of 12.
What is
So
it?
defense, you'll roll agility. It's agility 12. You're trying to beat.
So I rolled a 16 on the die.
Okay.
I do have a negative modifier, but I think it's just 1. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So
You
15.
slide the top of this off, just sort of cracking the top of the barrel open. You see a thick, dark liquid inside. And then from where the three of you are scrabbling on the ground here, something begins to pour out between you, between the spices and your hands as you are digging through the dust of this cavern floor, this thick, sweet smelling liquid. And Kritar, from where you are, you narrowly avoid something punches through the side of this barrel. You see a claw, this wrinkled purple skin as a hand sticks out through the side of the barrel and just sort of grasps for your side. You narrowly avoid it. There's something inside this barrel, and as you sort of step back a little bit, avoiding the attack, rising through the muck, dribbling this dark purple liquid, these tiny shriveled eyes, this hair like a broom that's been plastered down wetly over the face of this creature. You can see its heart pumping in its chest, its rib cage through this skin that is almost shrink wrapped to it. This is a goblin. Now, have any of you encountered a goblin before? This is not a goblin like you might expect in certain other forms of fantasy. This is unique to Morkborg. Would any of you have any reason to have met a goblin?
Unless they hang around churches, no.
Nope.
No, I can tell you that if Graps ever came across a goblin, they hid until they went away.
I mean, Thor comes from the frozen ruins, not far from the Alliance. Will there be goblins lurking in those frozen ruins?
Not likely.
Okay, in that case, then Thor also don't know.
Well, that is a very good answer, because all of you immediately recognize something about this creature. This is a goblin, and all goblins carry a curse. To interact with a goblin, to be attacked by one, it spreads this curse, an inevitable transformation that paralyzes your mind and turns you irrevocably into one of them.
Oh no, why would you give me this option?
You're already one.
Now, this goblin has emerged just sort of through the crate. You see its head first, and then sticking out of the sides of the barrel, spraying this purple liquid side to side. These two wrinkled arms, you can see the bones through them, carrying what looks like a sharpened piece of wood in one hand, and then standing up, these legs sticking out through, so you can just see head, hands, feet of the goblin. We are going to roll initiative.
Yay!
Here
Ooh.
and do our first little encounter. Now
Some
here is how initiative works in Morkborg. Here we are. Now when I'm going to roll a d6, this will tell me if the enemies begin or if you all begin. And then you guys are going to roll a d6 plus your agility.
I rolled a 2.
Okay.
I guess I must have rolled a 1 because it told me my initiative was 0.
Rip.
Nice.
Ooh.
And I have rolled a 1, so our enemies are going to begin here.
I don't know, for some reason, Roll20 is like, you wanted to send the result to turn tracker.
Oh. Yeah, usually you have to select a token when you roll in Roll20, so it goes into a turn
That's
tracker.
so fun.
But
Our
it doesn't let me
initiatives.
roll. It doesn't let me roll even though there's no tokens.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
you've rolled.
Oh,
You've
there
rolled
you go.
twice.
Now I came. Ha! Mine was 0 too.
Yeah, so there
Absolutely
because I
Oh
rolled
wait,
a
it only
2,
rolled
so
a
there are
d6. I didn't roll agility. Okay, that's why. Okay, so I rolled a 1 on the d6.
Okay, so we have our enemies are going first, and then we have Turg, Qatar, Volo, and Graft. Graft, you had a 0.
Yes.
Qatar with a 0 as well.
On the d6 or
Yes. Sorry,
yes,
d6.
On the d20, I rolled an 11, so -1, so I have a 10 total on the d20.
Yes, your initiative is just a d6 plus your agility.
Oh, so okay, yeah, all right. Lord.
So a 0.
Yeah.
Okay, and Volo?
a 2.
A 2, and Turg?
Yeah. Yeah, a 2 as well.
A 2 as
2
well.
2s, 2 0s.
Yep.
Okay,
Amazing.
fantastic.
Did anybody not roll a 1 on that d6?
Well,
yeah, I rolled a 1, but I have a
rolled
+1.
I rolled a 2. I have a +0.
Oh, okay.
absolutely fantastic.
I
So
think the
first,
3 of us who rolled in to get in Roll20 all rolled 1s.
first our enemies are going to attack, and then it will be you all, and then we will go back to the top with the goblins. Now, you did hit this goblin with your natural 20 when you stuck your sword into the top of the barrel here, Qatar. So I'm going to subtract the goblin's armor from what you did, but you did deal 2 points of damage to the one you've just encountered already. Now, you step back, the rest of you see this liquid spreading, and then there's another cracking sound as 2 more hands punch their way through one of the barrels next to you. And then, as another barrel head winds open, and you see these hatred, burning eyes. 2 more goblins punching their way out of the barrels. You are faced with 3 goblins. Now, a little bit more about how combat works here in BORG. It's a fairly simple system. Anytime you want to hit something in melee, so that would be with a sword or with a fist or with a maul, anything up close, you're going to try and beat a 12 on your strength. If you're doing anything from further away, a ranged attack of any kind, arrows, etc., that'll be a 12 on presence. And when you would get hit, I don't roll for it. You simply roll an agility of 12 to try and beat it. Certain monstrosities or creatures that you face might change those rules slightly. They might have higher or lower rolls you need to beat or special rules, but that is the basis of how combat here works. Make sense?
Aye.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, some of you might also have on your character sheet things called omens and things called powers or spells or scrolls. Those have certain special rulings to them, but suffice it to say, if you do have omens on your character sheet, you can spend them, you have a certain number per day or per 6-hour rest, to either deal maximum damage with 1 attack, re-roll a die roll, yours or someone else's, lower damage dealt to you by a d6, neutralize a crit or fumble, or lower the difficulty rating of a test by 4. I'll also send that to you guys so you have it in our little chat. But if you do have any omens marked on your character sheet, some do and some might not due to the character classes that you selected. If you do have any omens, those are something that might save you in a pinch.
All right.
There we are. Now beginning, this goblin that you have so rudely interrupted, you see its brow narrow. You can see the bones of its face through this thin, translucent purple skin. Would you please make, let me double check here. Now, goblins are quick. It moves faster than you're expecting. Would you please make an agility roll of 14 is what you're trying to beat for me, Qatar. Qatar.
Okay. roll. Okay, so that's a 4
Oh.
-1.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Okay. What is your armor?
I have a -D2 on it.
Okay. This goblin strikes at you faster than you're expecting. Will you roll a d2 for me? So you can use a d4 as you like or flip a coin.
A 2.
Excellent. You are going to take 1 point of damage as
Cool.
this goblin strikes at you. Most of it gets just sort of caught in the tangles of your mullet cloak. And you are now sort of ready and aware of this thing.
Rude.
Behind your other 3 companions, Graft, you are distracted as you feel something loom over you. A shadow falls as the sun is setting from outside, the light growing dimmer. Will you make a DR14 agility roll for me, Graft?
Ooh, that is a 10.
Okay, what is your armor?
I don't think I have any.
No armor?
No.
Excellent. You are going to take 2 points of damage as this goblin strikes towards you.
Just so you know, I have 3 hit points total.
Oh no.
Welcome to
Yes.
BORG.
Mushroom squishy.
Yee.
Excellent. And then that will be, here we are.
You can lower the damage with an omen if you have an omen.
You can lower the damage with an omen if you like. If you have
I
one.
do have. I have 2 omens, so I will do that.
Okay, then if you want to spend one of your omens to lower damage dealt to you, you can roll a d6.
D6. That is a 5.
Excellent.
Nice.
As the shadow looms over you, Graft, where you're scrabbling on the floor, you can see the liquid begins to pool almost in tracks of some kinds, like something has been scratched into the floor of this cavern. First, it just sort of fills out in a jagged line, and then you see it's almost the shape of teeth, sharp teeth, mimicking what you saw from the outside. Like there's some kind of inlaid or embossed, very, very light pattern on the floor here. And as you are staring towards it, watching the liquid, you hear distantly. And you move to the side.
Noise suppression ate that.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, say, what do I hear?
It was such a good noise. You hear a small, far off yowl of some kind.
Ooh.
That's so sad.
You shift to the side as the goblin strikes down at you with a sharpened board. You are aware of its presence now. And to Turg, a goblin is also going to move towards you, standing behind and pinning the 4 of you in this little triangle of creatures. Would you make a 14 agility roll for me, Graft? Sorry, Turg.
Let's go. Oh, I rolled a
Nice.
19.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Excellent. You also see the shadow fall over you and manage to avoid as this goblin tries to crack over you with these bits of broken barrel that spray. You avoid any damage. It is now your turn.
I will look upon this goblin creature, looking at its desiccated body and its exposed heart, and I go, fascinating. I would very much like to dissect you and see what makes you tick. And I am. Question.
Yes.
I have a dog. Does it?
You do have a dog. Yes. So your dog does act separately, I believe. Do you have the stats for your dog, or do I need to pull them up for you?
Oh, I mean, I have it. There's nowhere for me to put it in the character sheet, but its stat is small but vicious dog, 7 HP, bite D4, only obeys me.
Okay.
I did add a bite into my weapons list. Just nowhere for me to record the HP.
Okay, I'm going to have let's see. Quick attacks and defense are DR 14. You roll an agility roll for your dog separately. Let's just say this is a straight D6.
All right. Okay, so this will be so that will be a 5 then.
Okay, then I'll say that your dog, you can send your dog out to do something before you. So what would you like your little pug to do?
Okay, I will go, Dingus, sick him from the back. And my dog will pounce on it. But keep it intact. I want to dissect it. And
Okay. It's going to bite?
yes.
One of the funny things I've noticed about BORG is that a dog can live much longer than anyone else in this game.
You know what?
I was just thinking, it's like,
with that.
why does the dog have 7 HP?
I'm okay with
But
that.
I'm also okay with that. I mean,
Okay, I rolled a 17 to attack with my dog, and I rolled full damage 4 on the bite.
Oh,
incredible.
Amazing. Excellent. So that was with its strength. We're just going to say, again, it's a flat D6. So that will hit. This goblin has pretty tough skin, but it's only going to take 2 damage. And are you attacking between these 3 goblins? The one that stands nearest to Kratar is fairly tall. The one that had attacked our dear friend Graft here is fairly short. And the one that looms over you, Turg, only has 1 arm. So we've got tall goblin, short goblin, and 1-armed goblin.
Okay.
Which one are you attacking with your dog?
The one that my dog attacked is the 1-armed goblin in front of me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will attack that one.
All right.
And I will
dog sort of chomps down on its leg and begins to shake it wildly.
Yeah. And as it's distracted by that, I am going to hold out my left hand hidden within my cloak all this time. And you see, though my left hand is a bit bulged, there are like almost, at first you thought they were like almost like 10 to 15 fingers, but they are actually almost like roots. The way mushroom grows, they have like those like spreading tendrils.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that.
dope.
And the tendrils open, and inside it you see there's a stump. I grab the stump and I rip out this straight shaft of organic bone flesh thing, and that is my sword, and I'm gonna stab at it with it.
Okay. That is going to be, you're trying to beat 14 plus your strength.
16, 3
that
damage.
Will hit, and 3 damage. Let's see here. Okay, that is going to do 2 damage to this same goblin with the 1 arm. As it's distracted, you strike forward with this sword and just sort of punch through the side of the barrel. Coming out the other side, this purple liquid begins to intermix with dark black ichor pouring down out of the barrel. But that same scent that's so familiar, you can't quite place it. Next in the order is Volo.
The only reason that Volo didn't get targeted by the goblins before is because as soon as there was any noise that wasn't them, he jumped behind the crate and is like holding his like rusted short sword with his eyes like so tightly compact closed, like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I everything I did in jest just to weed out the heretics. Just in your name, please. I'll be such a good boy. But not to be at anyone's expense. He will do something. Is there any goblin with its back turned? It's the only way he's going to jump at someone, as if there's something with its back turned.
The one that I would say the one that seems most distracted is the one that's engaged currently with Turg.
Perfect. Is there a way, even if it's just like not mechanically, but just like storytelling wise, that he like it comes next to the crate or a crate and he like lightly stabs it and then jumps to hide again, just to be completely in the shadow. Okay.
The pug has gotten its mouth fully around one of these desiccated limbs. The goblin standing on 1 foot and then sort of avoiding the punched through of the barrel. It sort of lists to the side like the liquid is resettling, and the goblin catches a hand on the crate that you're next to. You can just kind of scratch.
just like absolutely. Go for a little scratch on the hand with
and
this.
I'm actually going to say
that
this will be You're only trying to beat 12, not 14, because it's not really dodging right now. Even though goblins are quick,
Yeah,
you have a bit of a better chance to hit it since you asked for that bonus.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a 1 altogether.
Was that a natural one?
It wasn't. It was a 2 minus 1.
You are very lucky in that case. Very lucky. You go to sort of scratch at the goblin's hand, and you just kind of like scratch down the side of this crate, and the goblin lifts.
It like notices him too much. And he's like, and then hides behind, like holding the little dagger out.
Absolutely fantastic. Anything else you want to do? You, of course, can kind of move as you like, as much as it makes sense for you to be able to move in about 6 to 10 seconds.
No, is going to just hide and whimper.
Okay, fantastic. That will be next is Graft.
Just to make sure, I was able to negate that previous damage, correct?
Yes, you have taken no damage.
I do my best to scuttle away, kind of just kind of that thing like in Scooby Doo where they run, but they kind of like run into place a little bit. But I'm following Volo's lead here. I am trying to hide as much as I can. But when I hide, you just see me undo the hook, and you just see like almost like a branch that kind of forks off with like a little bit of kind of like a leather string attached to it, like a slingshot that I have managed to carve out of the remain of my bone. So you just see me grab a rock from my pack, and I am attempting to hit one of the goblins.
Okay. Now we have the tall one, the short one, and the one-armed one. Which one are you aiming for?
I'm going to aim for the tall one, because I feel like that's probably going to be a better hit.
Yeah. Will you give me a presence roll of 14 is what you're trying to beat?
That is a 3. Just a solid 3.
Okay. Your rock sort of pings over the tall goblin and hits against the wall of this mouth. You see an icicle from overhead just sort of drop and shatter to the floor. But you haven't seemed to really catch the attention of the ones. They're mostly focused on your 2 companions at this point. You've moved to the side. Anything else you want to do?
I'm just gonna hide. I'm just gonna put my hook back on real
Fantastic.
fast.
You find your own barrel. And Kritar, it is your turn.
Seeing Volo run away, Kritar will say, slimy coward. Come out and fight. It'll be okay. And it's just gonna very not particularly caring they just took damage, just try to stab the goblin in front of them in the face.
Okay.
Nice.
Give me a roll. You're trying to beat a 14 with your strength.
Ooh. What did I roll? I only rolled an 11.
If you would like to, if you have any omen, can always re-roll a dice roll or lower a difficulty rating by -4. So if you want to, you can lower.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring that down to 10.
All right. As you stab forward with your sword, looking back where the rock has just hit the cave, this icicle that has fallen loose and shattered on the ground, there's this thin spoke of light that now comes through the roof of the cave, shining down and reflecting down the throat, this sloping branch down into the cavern, and you see it just kind of ping side to side, like the material of this rock is so reflective that you can just see this light. And as your eyes follow it, you strike in that same motion side to side and pierce the goblin. Will you roll damage?
Yeah. D4, let's see. 2.
A 2?
A 2.
Okay. The goblin is fairly thick-skinned, but you still manage to get it for 1 point of damage. Now you all have been attacking
Stronger than you, Volo.
It's now going to go back to the goblin's turn, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about something else, another mechanic here in MÖRK. Now, in MÖRK, many enemies will not fight to the end. Morale is a mechanic here. When I will roll morale for enemies or a group if the leader is killed, half the group is eliminated, or the lone enemy has a third of its HP left. So there is a chance to sort of cause an enemy to flee or surrender if you manage to kill the leader, half the group, or leave one enemy with a third HP left. Okay. Knowing that, this tall goblin is going to go for you, Kritar. It now sort of like raises the barrel up and hoists it under one arm so it can stop the liquid that's dribbling down its legs from putting it off balance. Will you make an agility roll trying to beat a 14?
Wait. Ooh, 16 minus 1, 15.
You dodge out of the way. The short goblin, the one that hasn't been sort of attacking yet, its eyes follow Graft and it kind of scuttles over, holding this barrel up towards the two of you where you are hiding. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is going to go for Graft again. Will you give me an agility roll of 14?
Ooh. That was a 6.
All right. And you have no armor, correct?
That is correct.
You are lucky you're only going to take a point of damage here.
All right.
And finally, the one that is surrounded by both the dog and this mushroom creature kind of looks between you, tries to shake the dog off, and will you give me an agility roll of 14, Turg?
All right. Agility. Whoa.
Oh,
that was a natural 20.
Nice. Let's go.
Excellent.
Yes.
Whoa.
Now, with a natural 20 in combat, when you roll defense, you get a free attack. So you can immediately make an attack on the goblin that is just trying to hit you as it falls to the side off balance.
Yeah, I'll stab it with my mushroom sword.
Okay.
Damn it. 9.
That was a 9 with your strength?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are not damaged. You manage to sort of strike back, but unfortunately, due to the nature of like the barrel that this creature is in, it's kind of hard to actually hit a weak point while it's writhing and just spittle flying in your grasp. That is the goblins. We are back to your dog.
Okay. My dog will continue tearing at it.
All right.
That's a 20 for 2 damage.
Let's go.
Yes.
That's a nat 20.
A nat 20.
Yo.
Excellent.
Yeah, but I rolled a 1.
Oh, but you rolled a 1. Oh, rip.
All right, it will do 2 damage. It's also going to reduce this goblin's... Well, actually, let me see. Because... Yes, your dog tries to bite through it and just sort of rips this goblin's leg off. And that goblin falls to the ground.
Yes.
Keep it intact. Oh, so is it dead? Or
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Incredible.
There are now 2 goblins left. They kind of look between each other, and there's a guttural as they kind of grunt simultaneously, and then with renewed vigor, struggle towards all of you. That was your dog, Turk. You still have an attack if you would like to turn on another goblin.
I will move to the closest goblin, which I'm guessing is the tall one.
That's the tall one, yes.
Okay, I will go to it and I will stab it with my sword. Oh, I think 13 misses.
A 13 will just miss. If you want to use an omen, you can definitely get that in the territory of hitting, if you want.
Nah, I'll save my omen.
Okay. Narrowly miss as this goblin ducks under your sword swing. And Volo, it's back to you.
Still cowering after Kritar like called him out. he's like, shut up, don't let them know that I'm here. The goblin falls dead next to them. There's like a very loud yelp. And is there any with their back turned?
I would say that the tall goblin is now flanked by two of your companions, so you could sneak up. He's distracted, but you would sort of be getting up close to him in order to do that.
Yeah, why not? I don't want to be useless to the expense of someone else. So he like hides behind different crates, and then as it looks like the goblin is distracted by the two people who are actually fighting it, is going to try and leap out and that's an 8. I am dog shite at this.
An 8 on your strength.
Attempts a stab.
Hey, don't put that on the dog. The dog's doing great.
The dog is doing absolutely fantastic.
The dog is honestly doing the best. And is then just going to run and hide again.
Fantastic.
As far as they can, yeah.
You just kind of you like streak past, scrape your little dagger across the back of the barrel, and then duck and roll behind another series of crates, which are still giving off sort of this musty spice scent. Okay.
Not duck and roll, trip and fall.
Trip and fall.
Trip and fall head first, and then sits up.
Excellent.
There you go.
And Graft.
Okay, so this is going to be fun. So my character is cowardly and vindictive, but when in periods of stress, my response is to put on an aesthetic display. So this time, I once again unsheath my bone sling. But I do it like as I'm like spinning it around, and you see like dried petals fall around me. It's almost like a magical girl transformation. As I once again take it out the rock and I try to shoot at it.
Okay. And this is the tall goblin again.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is with presence or?
Yes, a ranged attack is with presence.
That is a 6. None of the dice are my friends tonight.
Once again, your rock just pings off. This time, though, you see this goblin that's sort of pinned between the two. These eyes narrow towards you. You can see fear, anger, some kind of hunger as its jaw just yawns open and spittle drips from it. That is your turn, Graft, and we are back to Kratar.
Kratar is kind of annoyed that the last hit didn't work, and so he's just gonna be like, at least give me something worth fighting. Ugh. And I don't know, apparently Qatar, by being bitter and cruel, they're also a mean girl.
Kind of hot. Kind of gross, but kind of hot.
Kind of gross. Crusty, busty, dusty, desiccated mean girl. Let's go.
Okay, give me a roll with your strength.
My strength of -1. Which is funny because I rolled a 15 on the die, so that's a 14.
That is just enough. Let me see. Give me damage.
Demolish. All right, I'm going to pick a different D4. I was going to keep rolling a friggin' 2. All right. A 3!
Excellent. Ooh. You do 2 damage to this goblin, cutting through its thick skin, and it just sort of lists to the side. The two halves of the barrel crack, and a flood of thick purple liquid falls to the ground and just soaks over your feet, moisturizing them. Now that this goblin, which was the leader, has fallen, I'm going to check the morale of our final goblin here. This short one has not been injured yet, but he seems kind of stranded between the loss of his 2 companions, and it kind of All right, that is a uh there, and a goblin's morale right here is 7. I have rolled over, which means the goblin just sort of backs away and then falls to its knees and
Oh,
puts its 2 hands up.
a live test subject.
We are now out of initiative. You may act as you please.
Kratar is disgusted by the sludge moisturizing their feet, and with apologies to everybody, but Matt's okay with this. I'm pretty sure they're gonna wipe their feet on Bolo.
Ooh. Nice. Nice.
Is that cool with you, Matt?
All day. Yeah.
Fantastic. Please.
Listen,
Pooja and I have an understanding where Pooja
We
can
do,
treat my
yes.
characters like shit.
no, we do this with an understanding, but also Volo collects grease and Kratar
That's
repels
true.
it. So
That's
it's
true.
You know, it's a kind.
As soon as you do it, there is a like, oh, you feel good, do you? Taking another life? It's disgusting. I have the moral high ground here. I didn't try to kill anyone.
Morals are but for whom? The church found you as repulsive as they did me. So what
If we
what
don't
are
have
you going
morals,
to do
then
with
what
it?
are we? We're nothing but common dogs. And the dogs here seem to kill people.
The dogs are stronger than you. You're worse than a common dog.
I'm not sure if I would say it's common. I pipe up from the back.
That's true. The only thing common here is Volo, and I think Kratar like knocks his gross foot against Volo.
Yes, I am. I'm one of the common people. I stand for everyone here.
Now, while this conversation is happening, you are fairly familiar with brewing, and I think I'll have Graft and Turg. Can you both give me a presence test of 10?
Let's go. Oh wait. Oh wait, that's not mine. Mine did not. 22. That's a
A
natural 20 again.
22. Excellent.
Odds.
I rolled a 4, and I'm about to like toss roll 20 out the window.
I think you need to move to digital dice.
Mm-hmm.
Graft, you are fairly occupied with the grotesque mess that is splattered all over the cave, as well as the rocks that you've managed to miss.
Yes. Yes, I have you've seen me pull out an empty vial from my pack, and I'm just scooping it all up. I don't even know what it is. It's just like, I have to have it.
Now, you are not sure what this is, but there is a pang of recognition, Turg, that scent, that strange scent. You finally recognize it. It's wine.
Oh.
And you put 2 and 2 together, even though it's not, I wouldn't say math is your strong suit. You've heard of a rare brand of fermented alcohol. They call it goblin wine because it's said that even encountering a taste of it will turn you into a slavering creature. So alcoholic it is. You had no idea that goblin wine was actually made from goblins.
Oh, interesting. I will bottle up a couple of vials of this liquor, and
It's
then
fairly valuable.
Yeah, I'll bottle up a couple, and then I will stab my sword back into my sheath arm, and it coils back around, and then I will go towards the surrendered goblin and kneel in front of it. Since I've never seen one before, I go, "Can you speak?"
It just kind of slobbers its mouth open. Now, you also have a sense goblin parts can be sold quite valuable. You also know that a captured goblin is probably worth its weight in silver. The problem is, of course, that having been attacked by this goblin, if you do not kill it, you all might fall victim to this curse.
Sounds like murder time.
I have no need for money. And I will pull out my surgical tools. But science ever progresses. I drag the goblin to a corner and I do my thing.
You begin your work. Let's just say, will you give me, I'll make this a little bit higher. Probably, what's your highest stat, Turg?
Strangely enough, toughness, a 3.
Toughness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what's your second highest?
My second highest is presence, 2.
All right, will you give me this is going to be a presence test of 14.
All right. 15.
Excellent. You managed to pull out some very valuable materials from this goblin. If you want to write down in your inventory somewhere that you have gotten you've gotten some of your mushrooms to grow on this goblin's skin. So you've gotten some goblin shrooms that might make some kind of potent, creation, as well as its head, if you would like, which is worth 7 silver pieces.
Yeah, I'll keep the head.
And some of its skin as well, which you think, given some time, it's fairly thick, even though it's been withered by the wine. You might be able to fashion into some kind of armor.
All right. Perfect.
Excellent. Now, these vials of goblin wine are also quite valuable. A bottle of goblin wine would usually sell for about 10 silver pieces. So these vials might sell for 4 or 5 by themselves.
Oh, in that case, we'll have to make a note of how many did I manage to collect.
However many, if you want to roll d6 or for how many empty vials you have, that's how many you can gain.
I'm going to roll as well.
6.
Okay, please do.
All right, that was a 2.
All right, so you have 2 vials if you'd like to fill them with this wine. If you'd like to fill all 6 of your empty vials with the wine, you may do so. Now, Kratar and Volo, as you are chatting amongst yourselves, anything else that you two are doing with the remains?
Yes, absolutely, because Matt and I are collectively the worst people on the planet. Why did you go first? Explain what
As soon as there was a quiet, I think Volo dived to a broken barrel and is lapping up this wine like a dog.
And Kratar,
like fully like
Kratar has come right after Volo and is like kind of looming over Volo and just puts a hand into the thick goop.
It is quite tasty. Perhaps these spice packets have been brewing and the goblins have been seeping in this wine for so long. It's dried them out, but it's given this strange pungent flavor to the wine. It's like nothing you've ever tasted.
What else can we marinate to make something delicious?
I'm trying to be so pretentious about marinating and I can't think of anything. I'm truly coming up blank. So Volo doesn't speak, just is continuing to...
It's hard to speak through the wine. How are you drinking enough to intoxicate you?
Where you going? Do you know how to stop? You're in their snout first.
Yeah, I think so. I think they do. It's like they are fully like kind of eating dirt and things, and then drinking, and then like goes to just like full pause in the barrel kind of thing.
This is a very grotesque sight. These two humans, maybe
questionable.
When was the last time you had any kind of even mildly warm drink? Every bit of water you have to, spoon ice into your cloaks to melt and then sip, squeeze it, wring it into your mouth just to have something that isn't frozen. So
Absolutely, yeah.
It is, yeah. So I think while our shroom friends are, doing practical things, we're just here feral.
you rejoice in supplication to the fruits of this mouth. Take it inside yourselves and taste and drink and feast. But it grows darker and it grows colder. And you see the companions outside have huddled together for warmth, staking your caravan, putting up thick fur tents, but they are shivering and cold, and some of them might even begin to push their way inside the mouth of the cavern here. But the rest of you, the four of you, as you scavenge your way through the rest of the cave, gathering these spices and this wine, you still notice this flickering light playing off of that passage that goes deeper.
We can see our caravan like outside, right? Immediately completely unaware of like kind of what they've been doing in a like they're unaware of themselves in a sense. They watch everyone shivering. It's just like, look at them, pathetic, out there shivering, and whilst we're here like in the positions that we should be higher than these awful cretins. And then as soon as they start coming in, they're like, rebellion, they come in. They come in for the wine. Gather it all up. Let's hide further in the caves.
It's never been for the public to pave the way. They like to stand behind and supplicate to authority in the church.
Dumps the wine and the spices so that both of them are unusable.
Are you dumping it down the throat, or are you dumping it together?
Yeah, kind of wets the spices, so he has no idea how spices work. Yeah,
you make sludge.
Stomping on them and mashing it.
And then pours it down the mouth, yelling, "Cretins, don't come up here! Stay where you belong!" With their pathetic little knife in front of them.
Kind of scurry back. You've got an interesting crew of characters we have hopefully no need to meet as of yet in your caravan, but you've managed to leave most of this place in disarray besides what you have gathered, stumbling side to side, tipsy.
If we are going in further, I would like, Qatar would like to use their special thing.
Yes, please.
Which is, and so what Qatar does is say, wait, Volo, let's ask the gods. They refuse to let me believe in what lays in the store for us. And Qatar will cast stones from the Thel Emas Lost Temple onto the ground. And the pattern will reveal if there is a danger in the adjacent room. But the stones can lie. So I have to test presence DR10 to see if they are true. But if I fail the test, I cannot test again until the sun sets. I think I can still do the stones. I just cannot test to detect whether they are lying to me.
Excellent.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very neat. And what is your class again?
I'm a heretical priest.
Fantastic. Okay. Yes, please. Will you roll a presence test for me?
18 plus 2.
Oh,
dirty 20.
Incredible.
Excellent. I also want to check one more thing. Does it say anywhere on your character sheet that you have the insightful ability?
No.
Okay. A heretical priest is insightful, which means that when you roll presence, you actually roll 3d6 plus 2 instead. So you did beat it, but instead of rolling a d20, you can instead roll 3d6 plus 2 if you would like.
So,
wow.
That's interesting. Hold on. My brain is too slow to figure out how that works out for me mathematically.
It basically means that your lowest roll is your potential
Lowest roll is
lowest
higher.
roll is higher.
Yeah. I guess my potential lowest roll is a 5 instead of a
Yes, but you
3.
can't crit, so it's your option.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But I rolled the dirty 20, so
Yes, let's do that.
that
Oh,
one.
actually, you know what? I was doing my math wrong. When it says insightful roll presence, that's what generates your presence score, not what you can use. That's why it's on the character sheet.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
my bad. Yes,
I
was
do
it
have
on
a
natural
+2 presence. It's my only positive ability, so I'm pretty sure the insightful has been factored in.
That makes sense.
Mm.
Your stones fall to the ground. They fall along this line that you now notice the wine has been sort of pooling into, and then it's been just like kicked to the side into this sludgy mess that's freezing slightly into clumps of purple ice. There is danger in the next room, but it doesn't seem to be an active danger. It's more, this is a dangerous place.
Okay. Kritar will tell the group, more dangers lay ahead if we forget to tread lightly. But we wouldn't be the survivors we are if we didn't know how to cope with danger.
Sounds like maybe we need some more potions or something.
I've got poison. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, that actually reminds me, as a herbalist, occult herb master, daily I can make 2 random decoctions. Do I roll that now?
I have the same ability, and I was just about to ask that.
Yes. So the two of you, if you would like, can roll. That I've got a list right here. So that is a D8. If you want to, you can roll them both now, or you can just roll one and leave one to be random later. Up to you.
Yeah, I'll just roll both for now.
Okay.
So 4 and 8. So I make Elixir Vitalis, which heals D6 and stops infection, but can be addictive. And Black Poison, toughness DR14 or minus D6 HP and blinded for 1 hour.
Those are excellent. That Elixir Vitalis is quite useful. So
Dang.
Okay,
and
so
then
3 doses. Yeah, 3 doses of Vitalis and 2 doses of Black Poison.
Okay. Excellent. Make sure you write down that you have those. Those are very useful. And Graft, what have you concocted?
So I rolled a 3 and a 1. So the first thing I concoct is what's called a Southern Frog Stew, which is you vomit for 34 hours, pass a DR14 test, or you can do nothing else.
Oh.
Excellent.
And number 1 is a red poison. Your toughness is a tier 12, or you take negative D10 HP.
Excellent. So for both of those poisons, you can obviously use them on any enemies you come across if you're able to put them on a weapon or get them into their mouths, etc. And that means the enemies will have to pass those checks. Those are quite useful. And you've written down how many doses you have?
I have not taken my doses.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I will use 1 dose of Black Poison right now to lace it onto my mushroom sword.
I have 1 each.
Excellent. 1 of each. You've written those down. Excellent. And since you do have portable laboratories, you can, of course, replenish some of your ingredients with some of the stuff from this goblin that you have experimented upon. I would say especially that some of the poisons, plenty of things on here might require blood.
Not to keep us too long going over the same things. I also have an ability called Meta Alchemy, where I can transform a container of liquid into something. Can I also grab the two things is I can transmute it into 2 doses of red or black poison. Can I just make 2 black poison as well?
Absolutely, you can.
Just little vials like the liquid, as everyone else is doing stuff, like essentially scavenging the like leftover materials and then making the same black poison that was already being made.
To make sure you write those down.
I have no powers.
You have no powers, but you do have stones.
I know, just everyone's doing stuff and Kratar's like beep boop. Doo doo.
Okay.
Twiddling
You've
thumbs.
gathered your materials.
Kratar's probably
Yes.
just drinking more handfuls of wine. Palmfuls of wine.
Listen, even if it's wine, it's some of the most that your belly has been full in quite a while. You slosh as you walk.
No, that's horrible. They're supposed to.
You royal. Wine just sort of pours from your lips down your cracked skin.
Oh.
Nice.
Can I describe it? Everybody okay? We good to be talking about it? The wine, like, you know when you see in movies when it's like super dry, parched, cracked earth and the liquid flows through the cracks and it spreads and like, but the middle parts remain dry. It's just the cracks that get wet. That is what's going on to the sides of their face.
Nice. Like,
it's just these
blood on cobblestone
of cracks with wine, but just the dry skin in between.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to moisturize extra hard tonight.
But you also you don't smell quite as bad as you used to, or at least you smell like something layered over what you smelled like before, which was sweat. Even no matter how dry you are, just moving in layers of fur through the frozen wastes. But I digress.
Yeah, the sweat adds that salty dryness to the whole mixture.
You've gathered your materials. Are you venturing forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, who is the first to descend down?
I think it should be the dog.
Yeah, I was about to say I send Dingus now.
Okay. Will you have Dinkus make a toughness roll of 14?
I just roll my toughness, right?
No, just give me a flat d20 for the dog.
Okay. Okay, d20. 8.
Okay. Your dog takes 2 points of damage as it just sort of slides down. This is less like the dog getting hurt and more like just it sheds some leaves and branches as it leaves behind. As the dog slides down, and then you hear a sort of gulping yelp as it looks like the angle of this turns steeper and you lose sight of Dingus.
Still alive.
It howls up at you.
It's safe. I will proceed to go down as well.
Okay, are you just heading down? Will you also give me a toughness roll of 14?
Okay. I have a +3 and I still roll 6.
Oof.
Okay.
Doofa.
That is going to be 1 point of damage unless you want to use an omen to reduce or change.
I'll eat the 1 HP.
Okay. You slide down. You're sort of walking and then bracing against this very smooth, reflective, dark stone. And then the angle of the corridor and the flickering light grows steeper. You have to kind of catch yourself. You find yourself sliding down and then kind of tumbling down and out. It feels like a much longer fall than you expect. Your vision just kind of flashes white. And then you land crumpled next to your dog, who immediately just drags a ragged, viney tongue over your face. You find yourself in a circular room of some kind.
You lied to me, but I still love you. And I sit up. And I look around.
Anyone else? Proceed.
Kata, help me down. And then is going to try and use Qatar's
Kratar's gonna send you the corner of his robe for you to hold on to.
Oh,
and just like slide down.
Are you two going together?
Yeah.
Okay, I will allow just Kratar to make this roll if you would like.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Volo's life is in Kratar's hand now.
You do only have
So,
1 HP, right?
Yeah.
Yes, my pathetic life.
Oh no. So which ability?
Toughness.
Toughness. Okay. Well, it's not a negative. It's a but I rolled a 12.
A 12. Okay. Once again, if you want to use an omen, you can reduce the difficulty by 4 if you want, and you'll pass.
I'll do that.
Okay. Spend another one of your omens. Make sure that
I got 4 of them, so
Oh, nice.
That is what makes you a good priest.
It's because I got omens and no special abilities.
They are useful.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Okay, well, Kratar, then I think it is the two of you together, your tattoos shining on your skin as you slide down. A puff of warm air encompasses the two of you, and your hands sliding down this stone, you feel it almost give for a moment, like something is breathing in and out, and slide down and just catch yourself very elegantly, crouch, and then stand back up. And the two of you have made it down this throat without any damage.
Amazing.
I'm watching from the top of the descent, and I'm going to attempt to try to make my way down, but using my hook as sort of an anchor to anchor myself.
Grappling falls under strength. I'll allow you to either make a strength or a toughness roll for this if you would like.
All right, because I have a +2 to both of those, so that is going to be a 13. I'm going to use an. Yeah, I'll use an omen for it.
Okay, then you scratch your claw down the side of this throat, and quite elegantly, I think in a way that maybe just relieves a bit of the stress that you're still feeling, land gracefully down at the base of this throat. Spending your next omen. Again, there's this distraction, the light flickering up, flashes in your eyes for a moment with this white light, and you hear that sound again, far off, like it's echoing. A call or a cry.
And do we all hear it?
No, just Craft.
Just Craft.
Hello, kitty.
What are you talking to?
You didn't hear? Hello.
It's hard to hear much over the ruckus. This slimy girl. Well, we're just gonna censor all the words that came into my mind after the word slimy while referring to Volo.
Unleash your inhibitions. It kind of makes sense that you do say kitty because as the four of you gather yourselves here down at the base of this passageway, you see before you a circular room with a fountain at the center of it, burbling and flowing, and cresting at the top of this stone fountain what seems to be a sphinx, the regal head, but of a house cat, descending down into a curled up body, raven wings up behind it, and then clawed feet gripping on top of this stone fountain, very elegantly carved. And once again, you see two ruby eyes set into this dark stone here. It overflows, and from what you can make out, the rest of this room is just mirrors, flat panes of reflective material, possibly glass, though they are smudged and cracked in places. And set along the edge of the fountain, there are 3 cups, 1 silver, 1 gold, and 1 black.
Glass room. Does it look like someone carved this out or like constructed, or does it look natural?
I would say it definitely does not look natural. The room you previously left seemed way more natural than this. This is much fancier than you've seen in a long time. And there's a light coming from somewhere, but you can't tell where. It's just reflected between the mirrors. You don't see any torches.
Is there anything Volo shambles up to the to the 3 cups. Are there anything in them?
Not that you see.
I will follow as well. And
Yeah.
you said the fountain's overflowing, right? Is it flowing into like rills that flow from the fountain, or is it just like spreading all over the floor?
Oh, no. It's got this basin around it, and it seems to be flowing down into a hole at the base of the basin that the stone
Okay.
comes up through, almost like it's recycling.
No, you go. You go first.
Oh, Kratar was gonna come up and look at the cat and say, "Did you meow, little kitty? You can speak."
You want to give me a presence roll of 10?
Okay. I'm just here to do all the weird shit today. So it's an 11 plus 2, 13.
Okay. Looking around this cat figurine, you recognize the symbol that is on its back. Certainly, having studied as a priest of the basilisk, you have heard of a variety of lesser deities. And just sort of tucked on the back of this cat, under the head where it meets the sphinx body, you see a curled up ball of some kind, a ball of string, and what seems to be a cat that is just surrounding this ball. It's a very simple diagram that's carved into the stone here, but as far as you can tell, it doesn't seem to be alive.
I want to touch it, but I'll let other people go do their things first.
Yes.
Taking the golden cup,
Mm-hmm.
like immediately, dips it in the water, and thinks for a second, and then there's like this like shadowed thought, and then takes the silver and the black cups, and then fills those as well. Sidles on over to Graft and Thug, and shoves the other 2 cups like in their chest. I think we should toast to our victories today, don't you? Fully understanding that this is probably poison.
Is it actually water that's coming from the fountain?
Would you like to taste it and find out?
I sniff it.
There's no scent.
Progress requires risk. Why not? And I will hold up and cheers, and I will
3, 2, and then goes, and then
I will pour
Okay.
it. I will pour it into a hole in my neck that just opens up, and it just.
Amazing. So, which cup are each of you taking? There's gold, black, and silver.
I think you gave me the black cup. I think, or
you can have either the black or silver.
I'll
That's
take
fine.
the silver cup.
Volo has definitely taken the golden cup.
Okay,
Yeah.
silver for Graft, black for Turg, and gold, but Volo has not drank, correct?
Volo is not drinking, no. He's like doing like a, when everyone does shots, and then they're like, you drink first.
Okay, and are you drinking, Graft?
I think like when Graft cannot detect anything, it takes like a little sip.
Okay, a little sip.
A little leafy sip.
A little
First,
sippy sip.
Yeah,
for
just a little
silver, could I take a toughness roll of 12 from Turg?
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Omen. Let's not play around here.
Does Turg have omens left?
I have not used any.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
true. You didn't
Thank
spend any yet.
goodness.
Yep.
Okay, so an omen will allow you to either re-roll or reduce the difficulty by 4.
Okay, that will not reducing will not be enough. I will reroll.
Okay.
The toughness.
Oh, let's go. Incredible roll. Well done.
What was that?
17.
A 17 will pass. You press the goblet to your throat hole and swallow down what tastes very different than the wine. It's a refreshing, cooling taste. And as you drink, you are going to recover 3 hit points.
Oh.
You all notice the blooms of mushrooms sort of flourish. You give off a fresh puff of spores.
How refreshing. You should all try it. You'll need it for what comes next, I suppose. I hand my black cup to Qatar since they're holding up.
Tar will do it. It's like,
Okay, before
there's
you
no-
do so,
Okay, go ahead.
would you please roll a toughness of, let's see, you had the silver.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be 10.
Oh, okay.
10 toughness for me.
That's going to be a 12.
Nice.
A 12. Fantastic. With the silver cup here, you drink, and then the sort of bark-like skin on your form splits slightly, and you see new growths budding through. With the silver cup, you are going to whatever your do you have a score for your what is it, your agility, or just a number?
Just it's a -1.
Just a -1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are going to permanently add +1 to your agility, so you now have whatever it was is now 1 higher.
Woohoo! It's a
Incredible.
0.
Well done.
Amazing.
That is
Upon
better than
seeing-
negative.
Yeah.
Upon seeing the 2 positive effects, Volo drinks it immediately.
All right. Kritar, will you check? And that was a D12 toughness.
Qatar's gonna wait for Volo to do it.
You're waiting for Volo to do it
Well,
first?
there's a gold option. They want to see which one to drink from.
Makes sense. Volo, with your gold cup in hand, will you give me a 14 toughness?
Okay, I have.
Play big, win big, baby.
It's okay,
Let's
it's
go.
okay though, gang. Come on, this is going to be easy. This is my highest stat of 0. I actually rolled a 19, to be fair.
Yes. Fantastic. You drink down this sweet, sweet water and feel a strange invigoration. You are going to gain an omen.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's incredible.
Ow.
Now, this is more of a less perceptible, but it's almost this feeling of satisfaction, of like moral rightness.
Yes, he needs more of that. Thank you.
Volo's got this little smug smile going
Yeah.
on.
Let's see. Qatar is only down 1 hit point. So I think they'll I don't know, take the silver one and drink from it.
All right. That is a toughness roll of 10.
I'm so curious what happens if you fail.
I rolled a 12. That's glad I voted for the 10 one because I was worried it was
Oh
the 12 one. I
yeah,
was like,
exactly.
Oh, no.
That's true.
Okay.
Because I have
With the
toughness is
silver,
0.
you are now going to add +1 to your agility.
Yay, I'm up to 0.
That is impeccable.
Also, so once that's done, I think Qatar's gonna burp because they're so full of wine that there's barely enough of this water. And then they're gonna say, "Who wants to pet the cat with me?"
The gods have blessed us with these fabulous cups. I think we should all go do it.
We all touch at the same time.
I'm more of a dog person, but I'll play along.
Here, kitty.
Kitty cat and kitty cat.
Oh my god.
What have you?
We have. Oh!
Pet the cat.
Kitty.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think
All right.
Qatar, I think they're all gonna just go. And
We
like,
have truly made just utter garbage, and it's incredible.
We are the worst things I have seen put together on
This
a
is
screen
the
at the
most
same
fun.
time. And it's amazing.
All right. Are you all petting the cat simultaneously then?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes?
Mhm.
You reach forward with your separate and distinct skin textures and lay it upon the cool stone
Mr. Work
of this
skin
cat.
textures.
And Those vermilion eyes begin to glow. You hear first from far off like a call, and then louder, echoing, overlapping, yowling howls, calls, and meows, and then coming together in a single voice. You recognize this god, its symbol, Kratar. Eye bast, sharp of claw, mighty tailed, dark furred, cavorting, long of limb, this merciless predator takes us all in the end to drink and devour and play with in our writhing and our delight.
Mhm.
And as those voices echo, we are going to end our session for today.
Neat.
Ah,
Fantastic.
what joy.
What perfect timing. A few things before we head out. I want to let you guys know that there's going to be a collaboration happening here on the channel. TTRPG and Monster Fuckers Anonymous are teaming up for a Smash, Crash, or Bash Common Mythological Beasts event. It is a pre-recorded game that will be released when TTRPG hits 100 subs. And around here, we don't do collaborations for exposure. The revenue for 100 subs will be split with the folks over at Monster Fuckers Anonymous. So
Oh,
very,
nice.
very exciting. I have been Alex, your game master. You can find me at Alder_Mancy on Twitter. I also do a bunch of other fun projects. You can catch me tomorrow over on at Total Party Kiss, where I GM the dark horror game Strange Hungers with Pooja, my dear friend. I believe we usually go at 12:30 Eastern time nowadays. That's most of what I'm doing. We're going to go around and just have you guys say if you have anything cool going on. Let's start with Pooja.
The biggest thing I have going on is Strange Hungers tomorrow, where I play a character that's absolutely nothing like this one. She is sweet and cute and soft and oh god, like everything Kratar is not. And so yes, please come check that out on Total Party Kiss. Other than that, I am mostly pulling back on scheduling because my partner is moving to the US soon and we're gonna get married, and so I can't be playing every night. We gotta ease our way back into that. But you can find out where I'm gonna be by following my Twitter, which is at Pooja, Puja. Pretty simple. And Pooja Aberwaki on all other platforms where I will randomly post. I mostly lurk.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pooja. Let's go to Nikki.
Hello there, I'm Nikki, and you can find me as NickSnat1, number one on all social media, and occasionally on Twitch when I stream some of my TTRPG games. Currently, I'm the finale of a Dune RPG game that I'm appearing on for Underdog stream is next Wednesday, so we'll find out whether I survive that game. and I've also last month one of the projects that I wrote for called Jacqueline for Daylight Publications came out. Is basically a book where that allows you to play as if like your animals, like warrior cats, guardians of Gahul kind of vibes. I wrote the Tuskborns, which are like defenders of the wild boars, and the
That's so cool.
yeah,
I
and
love
the
It's actually my
I
favorite
love
genre.
boars.
yeah, and I also wrote the Timberfolk, which are these aggressively expansionist, hyper-capitalist beavers.
Oh.
So yeah, so you can find the book on Drive-Thru RPG. There's a whole bunch of other animal and kingdoms in that book. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay, thank you. And Matt.
I'm furiously searching up on Drive-Thru RPG. I need to be a hyper-capitalist beaver. That's like my whole shit. Hi there, beautiful people.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, delicious. Thank you so much for joining.
If Volo dies, that's your new character.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just a beaver.
Thank you so much for joining us. I've had such fun being just hideous. It's so rare I just get to be gross. It's great. The main thing I do is I GM and then also the primary editor on The Animalist, which is a sci-fi podcast about a like a broken ship, a broken crew flying on a broken ship, trying to get through a hyper-capitalist sci-fi game and try to survive. It's very good. You can either go onto the YouTube to watch the actual plays, or if you want to listen to it more in an audiobook sense, what I do with the actual plays, I take them and I take out all the dead air and the mechanics talk, and I add music and sound effects, and I make it so it's way more like an audiobook. But yes, there is that, and you can search the Atomless on everything, and then we'll come up. That is me.
Fantastic. And of course, thank you so much to our producer, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. I am the Twitch technical producer here at TTRPG. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Panda Cabra. It's sort of like a panda and a goat combined. It's really cute. It's kind of creepy. It's a little bit like me. And I adore playing really just pathetic, gross little creatures. So if if you're wanting something like that for your actual plays, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at PandaXCabra. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and I've been looking forward to playing MÖRK for so long. Because I, as a former like metalhead kid, like just like the whole aesthetic of like you can kill God, but God will probably kill you back kind of deal is just like it's my shit basically. So I will pass it back to Alex.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a privilege. We are going to be here for the next few weeks as well. So join us again next Friday for part 2 of Belly of the Cat God, where we will continue with our lovely cast. I think that's all for today. So if we're ready, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.